खवातीन विंग का
Hello everyone and welcome back to another meaningful episode of
वाजा के
Talk with
रेफरेंस
Maya, the podcast where we
आप
explore personal growth, emotional well-being, and
ये मनोबल वाले
thoughtful conversation. I'm your host, and today we are talking about something very close to our hearts: self-compassion or self-forgiveness.
वो जो जमशेद यानी वो
Many
जो
people are
शहीद मिलर रोड का
kind
जो
and
इलाका
forgiving toward others, but very harsh
भाई
and critical toward themselves. We often carry guilt, regret, and negative self-talk that stops us from growing.
अच्छा मुझे इरफान
Today we will learn how to treat ourselves with kindness and forgive our
नंबर बताइए
mistakes.
बना
Let's welcome
नंबर का नंबर है
Maya
नंबर का नंबर है
to our podcast.
आपका मोबाइल में नहीं है
मोबाइल में मेरे पास 2 नंबर हैं, गूगल लिखा
हुआ है
Hey, hey.
How are you, Maya?
291
टू
9
नाइन
Welcome to a podcast.
6
सही है एक मिनट आपका नाम
राजा राशिद
Hello.
मंसूरी
मंसूरी है
Ich kann helfen.
Welcome to our new podcast, and today's our topic is how to practice self-compassion and forgive yourself.
मंसूरा से पढ़ के आया है यार।
अच्छा अच्छा
That's a really interesting shift from gratitude to forgiveness. What drew you to explore those two together in this episode?
What exactly is self-compassion?
It's basically treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a good friend, especially when you mess up or things get hard. There's this idea that we're all way harder on ourselves than we'd ever be on someone else, which doesn't really help anyone.
So it means treating yourself like you treat someone you care about.
Exactly. Someone you really care about who's going through a tough time. The warmth, the support, that stuff we naturally give others, but forget to turn inward.
Why do many people find it difficult to be kind to themselves?
I think it's a few things. One, we've got this culture that glorifies being, hard on yourself, no pain, no gain, and all that. Another thing is most people tend to equate self-compassion with self-pity or letting yourself off the hook, but that's not it at all. Self-compassion just means acknowledging your struggles is normal. We all fail and nobody's perfect, but even when we feel guilty about something we did that affected someone else, there's a difference between acknowledging that guilt versus punishing yourself endlessly for it.
ठीक है
Let's talk about self-forgiveness. What does it really mean?
Self-forgiveness is different than just saying, I'm okay now. It's really about letting go of the pain from something you did, accepting that it happened, understanding why, taking responsibility if needed, but then choosing to stop punishing yourself for it. The forgiveness isn't just saying, it's fine, it's actually moving forward, instead of letting that one thing define you.
Yeah. That sounds very healing emotionally.
It is. When you keep replaying mistakes, it creates this energy block. Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight, but it's like unlocking yourself to move forward. It's a different state than just knowing you should move forward, but being stuck because of how much the emotion is interfering.
What happens when someone keeps blaming themselves?
That's where shame really settles in.
in.
Shame versus guilt is important. Guilt is like, I did something bad, whereas shame is like, I am bad. With shame, it's you start thinking your worth is tied to making zero mistakes. That's exhausting and unlivable. Constant self-blame cuts off growth and any chance of learning or change.
Is accepting imperfection important for self-compassion? मैं वो और कुछ कहूँगी है ना
Absolutely. In fact, I'd say that's step one. Imperfection is part of being human. It's not something to beat yourself up about.
मैनेजमेंट
Self-compassion comes from recognizing that everyone messes up. Everyone has flaws.
बट अगर हम
Doesn't mean we let those flaws take over or ignore them, but we don't let them define us either.
कौन सा एजेंसी रखी है?
एजेंसी नहीं है जिल्ला है
हाँ?
perfection pressure creates stress in many people ये एप्टावर नाम सुने मनसे
Definitely.
से आ गए
It creates this anxiety cycle where you're afraid to fail, so you avoid new things, or you overthink
ये
everything.
सिपेक जो बनाए ना
People get trapped worrying about what others will think, but
मनसेरा
really the most authentic version of ourselves comes when we aren't worried about meeting some impossible standard.
ऐसा भी अच्छा लगा है। क्यों?
how does self talk affect self compassion
के बाद बड़ा जमा
मनसेरा के बाद फिर बटग्राम
I'm not following. Could you say that again? I didn't quite catch the
how
connection
does
between.
self talk affect self compassion
Self-talk.
ठीक
Catch you later.
मित्र ये मांग रहा है ना मंसूर पे कंटिन्यू एज मंसूर
how does self talk affect self compassion
Sorry, I think I misheard. I'm not sure what you were asking about silk stock and competition. Could you repeat that?
how does self talk affect self compassion
ठीक है मुझे दे दे
Your internal monologue is like the foundation for your self-compassion. When your self-talk is harsh or critical, it makes it way harder to be gentle with yourself. But if you start catching yourself in negative spirals and try to reframe things, maybe reminding yourself you'd comfort a friend the same way you should comfort yourself, that changes everything.
खैर अच्छी बात है
अच्छा
can you give me some examples
अच्छा पासवर्ड वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं
Sure. So let's say you bomb a presentation at work. Critical self-talk would be something like, you completely embarrassed yourself. You're so bad at this. You'll never succeed at anything. Self-compassionate self-talk, though, would be more like, that was really tough. It's normal to feel embarrassed when things don't go as planned. But
और जीमेल का पासवर्ड
doesn't mean I'm a failure. I learned something from this that I can use next time.
अच्छा सही
let's give listeners practical steps
Yeah, absolutely. First, start noticing your negative self-talk patterns. What are the specific phrases you say to yourself when you're beating yourself up? Then challenge those thoughts. When you catch yourself being harsh, ask yourself if you'd say that to a friend. Most people wouldn't. Replace it with something kinder and more realistic. Also, mindfulness exercises like meditation or body scans can help you become more aware of your internal dialogue, which helps with noticing those patterns.
इसको बंद कर दिया
ये पूरा बंद कर दे बाद में
दोबारा आ
समझाएंगे
गया मैं लिंक्डइन पे दोबारा आना
can you share a simple exercise for self forgiveness
Here's something simple. Write down the specific thing you're struggling to forgive yourself for. Then write a letter to yourself from the perspective of someone who loves and accepts you unconditionally. How would that person respond to what you did? What would they say to comfort you? It might feel cheesy at first, but it helps you tap into that gentle voice within.
my one final short message for our listeners
मसला तो नहीं है मसला तो नहीं है
Self-compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about making sure you can get back up when you fall. It's brave to be kind to yourself, especially when things get messy. You deserve that gentleness as much as anyone else does.
Thank you everyone for joining today's episode of Call with Maya. If you found this discussion helpful, share it with someone who might need emotional support and self-growth motivation. Remember, healing begins when you learn to forgive yourself. Thank you, Maya, and thank you
That means a lot.
Thank you all of our listeners. See you with next episode, next topic. Allah
ठीक है
Hafiz.
सुरेश का नंबर सेंड करेगा नंबर सेंड कर देना ठीक है वेट करेंगे